Mallory Hubbard from the Chi Rodriguez Foundation is going to give a little talk. They're our sponsor today.
I'm a little short. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us. Another lovely breakfast. It was wonderful. I spoke a couple months ago about the Chi Rodriguez Youth Foundation. I'm just going to reiterate it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you a video. Sorry about that. I'm late on that. So anyways, the Chi Rodriguez Youth Foundation, we're located in North Pinellas County. We service all of North Pinellas County with our students. We are on the golf club. So if you pass a golf club or the driving range and you're like, why does it say Youth Foundation? It is actually a youth foundation. So we operate the golf club, the driving range, and then we also have 2 educational programs. We have an academy on campus. It's a public school for at-risk kids, grades 5th through 8th. They go to school every day. They do testing like all of our students do, and then they get reintegrated back into North Pinellas County high schools. And then we are also a First Sea of Clearwater. So if you guys play golf, it is a program that teaches life skills and core values through the game of golf and stuff like that. But because I spoke last time, I thought it would be better. We're getting ready for graduation. Everybody is. I thought it would be better to show a quick video about last year's graduates. We have one for this year as well, but it is in draft mode. So we're going to show you last year's real quick. It's nice and short. But thank you for having us.
Now just hold your breath.
Yeah.
At PGs, I felt like I might not fit in as well, but after a while, I feel I'm very included.
When you were up here, it was, I don't know anybody, you just bring its place. Not worse.
And I'll experience socializing. When I first came here, I was a bit nervous, but over time, I started building a relationship.
I believe that Amaya is a person that no matter what she does, if she puts her heart and soul into it, she can accomplish it.
Most obvious improvement I've seen in Brooke is she's just confident. Doing it, realizing it is easy.
She's a student, she's a great friend, but she's also just a well-rounded, good, genuine human.
A goal I probably will have in the future is to be successful and have my own business, but I also see myself going down an artistic path or a culinary shop. I want to be a Lego designer. I know like Lego products a lot, so I feel like a Lego designer just working at Lego in general. I feel like that would be a very good career. My name is Corbin and I am graduating. My name is Amaya and I am graduating.
I am graduating. I am graduating.
I am graduating.
I am graduating. I am graduating.
So that's it. Thank you all.
Okay, now I haven't met Sandra yet. This is Sandra Erickson with the Friends of the Library, who's presenting our spotlight today. Thank you.
Welcome to the library. And that's important. Thank you for that video. That's inspiring. That's great. Thank you. I'm pleased to represent the Friends of the Library. I'm the Vice President of the Board of the Friends, and I'm speaking in Lisa of Cohort, who's taking care of her grandchildren for several, maybe a month or so. Lucky for her. The library is such an important part of our community. As you see when you walk in that door, it is community oriented. And the Friends of the Library are very happy to support our library in that community outreach in several ways. So I have these notes because the last time I gave the speech, I left out about half the things we do. So I'm going to try to talk fast and tell you as much as possible about what we accomplish. We have programs for adults, teenagers, young children. Adult programs include book clubs and informational and focus groups, authors nights and speeches. So we have a lot of programs for adults. Teenagers, we're really proud of those. We have the Dunedin Youth volunteer group, and they work out of here, volunteer in the library. We also have programs though for those who just come in from our community for homework help with their computer. We have the youth program has a chess club, Lego club, computer video game clubs, and they meet here. And then that gives them a great opportunity to socialize and be a part of a group. And as you know, our teenage population is so very important in making an impact on their lives. And we try to support the library in doing that. We have children's programs, which I'm a retired teacher, so that's the most important, I think, because that's where literacy begins, is with those very young children. And they have reading programs. Probably one of the most important ones to their mothers is the summer reading program, because we all know that summer reading is so important, and it gives them a place where they can come and be part of that group and really be inspired to read. So that summer reading program is so very important, and that's one thing that the Friends supports. They have materials, so they have activities. It's not just come and read a book, it's get involved, do some hands-on things, have some music, have some guests come in. It could be the farmer, the clowns, that whatever it is, we try to really beef up and support that children's summer reading program. You all know that's so important. But besides the summer, there's a regular story time, and they also have music and activities that they can do. So we're happy that we can help supply those craft activities for our youngest readers. We also support staff continuing education and staff appreciation. Our staff here is absolutely amazing, including our director, Phyllis. You all know her, and she is amazing. And we are happy, though, to help her support her staff in continuing their education, continuing their professional development. And then we have some opportunities during the year that we can show them our appreciation. I'm going to go fast now. We also help with the enhancements at the library. Number one, being the playground that's being replaced. And the city helped finance that, or did finance that, and we're happy to support that effort. The playground is so important. It does serve the entire community. We also support the signage that's in the library, those big read signs where you see your city commissioners holding a book, so that people get that good role model for reading. We support the copy machine here, and what we used to call the change machine, only it's a bill changer. I don't think it gives a handful of quarters, but it does make change. And we support materials for projects that are going on here. Now, how do we do all of that support? Well, one way is by having people join the Friends of the Library. And there are envelopes on the tables. Also, in 2 of the prize bags back there, there's a free membership to the Friends of the Library. If you happen to win it and you don't need it, if you're already in the Friends, then maybe you could pass that envelope on to someone else. The more we have, the better we can work. Our main source of money fundraising comes from our bookstore. And so you pass it when you come in the double doors. It's got, it's a great opportunity for making money. And you would be surprised how much used books are appealing to people and how much funds we raise from that. But also it makes books available at a lower price, that maybe they're $2 instead of $25. And so that's a real good opportunity to give to the community, and also though to earn some money to support this library. So we have a big book sale in February. You're probably familiar with it. If you join the Friends of the Library, then you get invited to come on the first night of the book sale. Really, it's the free book sale night. And so you get your choice of books along with some refreshments, including wine usually. So join the Friends of the Library. That's a fun event that really is just full of books. As if you've been here, you know. And we have what we call our abbreviated book sale, and that will be coming up in May, no, September.
20th and 21st.
And so that's a small book sale. Instead of having both of these rooms, we only have one, but it's worthwhile to come. So thank you so much for helping us join the Friends, volunteer at the library. If you sign up to be a volunteer, they give you a job. And so please join us here. Thank you so much. There's a book from our bookstore on each table. We thought maybe the person at your table who has a birthday closest to today could be the winner of that book. And so you can, you don't have to tell the year, just the month and day. Please share the books at your table.
Thank you, Sandra. Just one quick, well, two things. Victor isn't here, not because he overslept. I forgot to say he had a pre-planned family event for about a month, so don't hold it against Victor. The other thing is, these library sales are amazing. I got this book. It's literally this big, called Earth. It weighs probably 15 pounds for like $5. Come on. So come here. It's fabulous. But you won't get a card. When I renewed for my Friends of the Library, I said, wait, I didn't get anything in the mail. Oh, you know, you don't. Oh, okay. So just, if you join and don't get anything, you're still on it. Okay, next we have Commissioner John Torga with our city report.
It's my mother's fault that I'm not going to get the book. By the way, I heard at the door someone talking about how you win this. And they said you need to focus on the last two numbers. So while I'm talking, just take a look and make sure you are focusing on the last two numbers. By the way, who's ever drawing 98 is a good number. So works out really well. Certainly, I just want to point out that we have Deputy Austin here, and I'm going to tell you that he is everywhere. He was last night, and now he's here, and he's probably watching you sitting from the vehicle as you're careering down the road. So be careful. But that's our deputy sheriff in action. Fantastic. Thank you. He's everywhere. I'm sure the corporal is too, so I want to be careful. I know that all of you have an interest in DCO because you're here. And I don't think I've missed a DCO since 2010. I know I missed two in 2009. But I bring that up because on the way here, I almost made that turn for the golf club. Almost made the turn for the golf club. Now, in doing that, I suddenly recalled what's really going on at that golf club. I just want to give you a little bit of information. And I can sum this up because I'm going to have to sum up everything because there's so many things going on in the city. But the enhancement of, I'll use the word enhancement of the golf club is coming along really, really fun. And staff is also working on some and talking to some local restaurateurs here to provide refreshments and the food. So I think we're going to really have an outstanding outcome of that. I know everybody, it's one of the biggest things I'm asked is, there's a number of other things, but is what's happening at the golf club. So really excited about that. But on the other side, and I need to stay in Phyllis's good grace because I think I still owe some fines from previous years.
Yes.
So
We're gonna get you.
I'm in trouble. So I know that we're really fortunate to have a facility like this, like this in this library. We get to come here and have a meeting. So what could possibly go wrong having a meeting at a church or a library? Two of the greatest places to be found. I needed to say that because of my wife and because of Phyllis. I need to stay on the good side of her, as I pointed out before. We have lots of good things to think about. First of all, Jeff Gow wanted me to remind you that winter is over. But you suntan. Winter is over here. And I think he figured that out partly only because of the sun, but he figured that out because of the traffic. Is that true? Deputy, is it traffic slowing down a little bit? Okay. All right, we're good. So some of the big things that we're working on right now, I'm going to give a summary. We're working on a design build scope for the new garage. In fact, that's you'll hear more about that around April 30th. It's just not far away. The old city hall, demolition has occurred there. And so now the point becomes, what do we do with that? And how do we focus ourselves on that? What should that be and how would it look? Big project is Skinner Boulevard. This is another thing I'm asked. When is this going to happen? That's going to start not until 2005. I'm not even going to begin to tell you when it might end because that's done by someone else at FDOT. So, but hopefully it'll be done by 2006.
25.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what my advisor and my support. We've had a bunch of wonderful events just recently. We had St. Pat's Day, but how about the Highlander Games? Was that fantastic? Just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. We continue to work on attainable housing. We have money in the budget to do that. And we may see a project come up soon. We will continue to work on that. We're all concerned about that. I just wanted you to know that we are. Budget presentation is underway by staff. Phyllis, do you have any time left over after you do work on your budget? She does. Her budget is easy because, of course, no one wants to offend. Racket sports, pickleball. Wow, did you hear this? Looks like we're going to have pickleball courts ready to go by the end of the summer, or hopefully maybe even the middle of summer. We'll see about that. But racket sports includes tennis, and we also have a plan to affect and create even a better Highlander Park tennis sports facility. And we hope to begin that in the fall of 2024. The aquatic complex, second biggest question is, when is the pool going to be done? So I usually like to answer that, when is it going to start? So that will also start in 2025. You can ask him when it's going to end. I don't want to say. We had some great festivals here. We had this is just since the last time we talked with you. We had the seafood festival. That's Dunedin, right? Seafood. We had a little party down there at the HOB Beer Fest, and then we also had, of course, at the Seafood Festival. You can't help but have some beer. By the way, some of you have asked about the arborist, and Rick Warner has been introduced. He's out working, very accomplished individual, and so that's also, I've been asked that question about our arborist. The Dunedin Marina. We have working on a master plan for the Dunedin Marina. In end of February, master plan informational request was sent out. It was sent out for 2 weeks. The consultant now has that information. And we hope to see some plans. You'll have additional input to those plans, anyone that wishes to, as we consider a master plan for our Dunedin Marina. I have to say something about the library, otherwise I get in big trouble. So I'm just going to tell you one thing. Phyllis reports that we have total visitors of 14,000. 14,000. Where'd you put them? Everywhere, she said. Everywhere. Big thing, water. 2 kinds of water. One is the kind of water we don't want to see, and Public Works really works on that. We have some Tide Flex check valves that are going to be installed in Baywood Shores subdivision, because people ask us about that. What are we doing about that? And what are we doing to make sure that we are protecting our community? And that's being worked on, and there's other studies going on about that. Our own public service built the new landscape median at Patricia Avenue at Main Street. So that's beautification, as well as keeping our community well known and spiffy. We have a stormwater rate study scheduled, and there's going to be a public meeting for ordinance review this summer. We have a couple of interesting things here. If you can believe this, this is just mind-boggling. Does anybody know that we have a street sweeper here? And it's not me. It's a big machine. Has everybody seen that big machine rolling along? There's not a lot of them. Collected 49 tons of debris by that little street sweeper that goes along. I know Mo always wanted to ride in one of those. I always wanted to drive one. I think it's pretty cool. The utilities, we always like to talk about this, and let's see if anybody can guess how much water, potable water flow we had per day this last month. This number is given out about every 3 months. So see if somebody can guess this real quick. Paul, hit it.
3.7 million gallons a day.
3.55. At least you get a prize. How did you know that? Pretty amazing. We're working on a strategic plan currently, and we expect to see that, release that, and receive additional input on that, probably not later than July of 2024. The last big thing, we're sitting next to the stadium here. You know, it's really interesting how we have a complex right here. We actually have a complex of education with a school. We have a stadium. We have a veterans VFW here. We have the Hill Center, and we have our library, and we have margaritas. You don't even need to go home. You just stay right here and read. Right, Phyllis? Yeah. So there's much more. There's so many more things to put here, but I'm gonna get the hook. So let me just tell you this. First of all, good luck on 98. I'm sorry, on the number, on the little red ticket. Please use our website or any social media. You can find out pretty much everything that's happened in the city, so you don't have to wonder what's happening with some of the development things that are going on. Again, there are so many things that are going on. All of us, the commission, as well as staff, are very proud to serve you. Thank you.
All right, now we're here for the program. Dan and I talked before, and I would like him to just give a couple minutes about his personal background. But let me just read. It's not on the table today, but it was in the website. Daniel, he goes by Dan. Zito is a retired lieutenant commander, narcotics Narcotics Division and has held a variety of law enforcement leadership roles, including patrol operations, DUI unit instructor, field training unit, SWAT training liaison, narcotics, tactical investigations, community policing, narcotics intelligence, tactical street crimes, community education, pharmaceutical investigations, narcotics, strategic investigations, and countywide drug task force. Now, normally we like people with experience to give our presentations, but we'll let this one go. So, Dan?
Morning, and thank you for the invitation to be here today. I'm actually very humble. So I was asked to tell a little bit about my background. When the sheriff's office assumed the responsibilities for the city of Dunedin, go back in the 90s, I was asked to come up here as a corporal. So I actually worked in your beautiful city for 5 years. That was my choice to stay here. And I always thought that if I ever had to move, I actually live South County, that this would be my next choice as far as where I would live. But unfortunately, raising 2 children, they grew up overnight. I'm very proud to say my oldest, my daughter, is a corporal working for the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. And she married in October to a wonderful man who's a sergeant at the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. So it runs in the family. And I'm really proud to be here to be able to share with you all that information. So I am going to apologize. I'm going to go quick. There's my background. I'm not going to dwell on that. It's just I've been here 40 years for the Sheriff's Office. Now I'm retired. And because of my background, I teach drug education awareness. Who here has seen this here? We have a window in the middle of that screen. If we can. Have you all seen that movie here? Forrest Gump. It's great. And the clicker's not working too.
Wait, it's.
Back on the slide.
Is it on?
You got to interact with the slideshow again.
Yeah, I think
there
that.
you go.
It always happens for technology. All right, so I'm gonna speak real loud. So this is a wonderful movie. And just so you'll remember me, my name is Dan Zito, retired lieutenant. This was something to give you as an example, you'll always remember me. I'm actually the real Lieutenant Dan, all right? Setting up to go forward. So I am gonna give you a lot of great information. You won't take pictures of all this information. I am gonna go quick, so I'm gonna go from slide to slide. And for the sake of time, I'm actually gonna get right to the end. I've got some great videos to share with you here. So when you watch the news always wants to talk about the fentanyl problem and where we're at, and how it's killing so many Americans, so many beautiful people out there, not just adults, children. They want to show you medicine on the actual news. That has been a problem in the past. We have proactive programs that talk about safeguarding your medicines and everything to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. That is not the problem. The problem is the stuff that is street drug fentanyl that's bootleg and put in everything. I mean everything is out there nowadays. And the millions and millions of counterfeit pills that are contributing to these deaths. There's all kinds of lethal substances out there. To just talk about the opioids real quick. Heroin will kill somebody. What you're seeing at the bottom of that vial is a lethal dose that can claim a life. Followed by that is medicine fentanyl. On the bottom of that vial, a lesser amount, just a few granules. That's a lethal dose for a human being. And last but not least is carfentanil. And what you're seeing, that little speck in the bottom of that screen, will probably end up killing 7 people in this room. That's the potency of what's going on out there. And this is the stuff that's mixed in every street drug out there, very not assuming to someone when they do something for the first time or repeat use, it ends up claiming their life. So I'm going to show you a couple videos. They are very sad, they're emotionally upsetting, but just to be respectful to the audience, just to let you know, if you want to not turn away, if you want to step out of the room, because again, not knowing families that have been directly impacted with this problem here. And the first is going to be a video of a dad that unfortunately lost a 16-year-old son to a fentanyl poisoning. Turn the volume up too a little bit.
You're going to do it on. This isn't. There. Is that 100?
that evening with one of the special meetings we had. I told him to come downstairs. And I wanted to hug him. I don't know why. He came down the stairs and hugged me. Said, Dad, I'm so sorry for all the things that I had put through in the past. I said, don't worry about it, Dave. I'm just a kid, just learning to go places. You got a great future. Just so proud. You have no idea. My dad, good night. Love you. Good night, son. Love you too. See you tomorrow morning. Next day, about 8 o'clock in the morning, when I walked into his room, he was in a lying position facing up against the headboard, with his hands over his chest. And I saw his eyes. He had a little blue on top of his lips. I screamed at the very top of my lungs. Dad! 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 Called paramedics. They carried him down the stairs on the first floor. Started doing chest compressions. And then they took him to Los Angeles Children's Hospital where we were putting weight. Later on that evening, a team of doctors came in. And they said, your boy is just a shell of a boy that he was. He's not coming back. My only child. Save us. I couldn't save my son. My son is gone. It wasn't supposed to be this way. He was supposed to graduate from high school this year. You love yourself. Respect yourself. Love life. You have a choice. Because it is between life or death. This is no joke. You can and will die. How do I know this? I can tell you that I've met thousands on thousands on thousands of parents nationwide. I wish somebody had sat me down and had this talk about what veterans does. I didn't get that chance. You do.
No parent ever wants to outlive their child. Unfortunately, it happens too often throughout the nation, throughout Florida, and also here in Mills County. I've met a lot of those families that have been devastated. These are not all adults. There's some children involved as well. Most people have heard about the word effect, but may not fully understand what's going on in the landscape, or they don't understand the risks that are associated to it. Just kind of give you a perspective nationwide. The CDC puts out information. Over 100,000 people died in 2022 from preventable causes, drug poisonings. A year later, look what happened to those numbers. Those numbers come down a little bit over time, but we're still over 100,000 folks. And we're starting to see a shift now in the nation where previously that map was all brown, positive increases. Now the blues are decreases. And you can see where the state of Florida is at. These are drug poisonings. So to give you a visual perspective, 100,000 people, that's a lot of folks. That preventable causes. The best visual I can give you is probably a major sporting event, a stadium packed, 80,000 people. That's the equivalent, and then another 25 on top of that, 25,000 that are dying every year that can still be here. It's astounding, it really is. There's the line graph over time. There's the record where we're at currently, where we're at now. And of course, over the course of time, things have happened where that chart has spiked You all remember in 2020 what happened? We all knew what happened in 2020, which was what? COVID. Well, there's a relationship with COVID, and there's a relationship that line to where we're at today. The glimmer of hope is that that line is starting to taper down, and we'll see over the next 6 months, a year, where we end up if that number continues to go down. Now we're in the state of Florida. So the state of Florida, previously we were a higher number, almost 8,000 deaths. Now we're at about 7,200, which is good news, but we're still over 7,000 Floridians that are dying throughout the state of Florida. And we're seeing actually a better decrease for our state as compared to the nation. This is not scare tactic. This is all factual information. Here's our line graph. Our record year was a much higher number a year ago, and this is currently where we're at. When COVID hits, and hopefully over time that line will continue to taper down. You can see the ups and downs over the course of the last 15 years. There's a site I go to. I just updated it yesterday again. So when we look at the sheer number of 105,000 as a nation, we want to break it down per day. If you want to divide 365 into it, we're looking at about 300 people die in this country. So when you go to bed tonight, wake up, another 300 folks will die. If you want to break it down further, say every hour, 24 hours, you're looking at about 12 people die. So we're here today, maybe 2 hours, hour and a half. You do the math. Here's Pinellas County to give you a closer what's going on in our own community. And this encompasses Dunedin and all the cities that are in Pinellas County. The red is the year, the black is the deaths. We call them decedents. As I come forward to the dates, look at the number underneath. Does it ever go down? And look what happened in 2022. Every year has been a record year since. And when you look at those last 2 years, we actually have an increase compared to the state and the nation. And it's just through the roof. Here's another report just published from the medical examiner's office for the state of Florida. And it's going to show you, it may be hard to see, the red of the red is the worst. And if you look, you will see Pinellas County, I've enlarged it. What color is Pinellas County? Red. Okay, we are the top county in the state of Florida right now. We're number one, a record that we're not proud of, the most amount of deaths. So we talk about fentanyl. Fentanyl is used in a variety of different things. We talk about medicine fentanyl, pain management, going in for surgery, or if you're, unfortunately, you're in an auto accident, paramedics carry it to give you a chance of surviving that traumatic injury. Here's the potency on medicine fentanyl, 80 to 100 times more potent than morphine. Make no mistake, morphine will claim a life, but this stuff is synthesized, man-made medicine taken in the right direction, totally safe. It has a lot of great applications to help Americans and to get through their day and to get rest and get better over time. And that a lethal dose that can claim a life is 2 milligrams, which isn't much at all. What is 2 milligrams? You're seeing it right there. It goes barely to go on the tip of a pen or a pencil, 2 milligrams as a lethal dose. Here's another photograph from DEA, their penny. We all know the size of a penny. The full image of 2 milligrams of medicine fentanyl, barely to cover the date on the penny itself. And that is a lethal dose that can kill somebody. But this is not the problem. The problem is going to be street drugs, fentanyl, that's out there. That's just claiming so many lives. This is a series that was on Netflix and on all kinds of other shows. It talks about super labs that make all kinds of drugs. There's also, unfortunately, super labs that make fentanyl that have been, we've had pill presses in this county and throughout the country, and they exist in other countries like Mexico and neighboring countries as well. Here's the potency on street drug fentanyl. It can be up to 10,000 times more potent than morphine. The medicine was 80 to 100. This stuff can be up to 10,000. So much more incredibly potent. And this is the stuff that's mixed in everything on the street: cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and also counterfeited in millions and millions of pills. So here's a quick example of carfentanil. It's for an animal tranquilizer, not for human beings. It's so incredibly potent. Get this, 2 milligrams of carfentanil, never intended for people, it's not medicine, is enough to sedate a 14,000-pound elephant. That shows you the potency range on it. And here's the properties on carfentanil. Up to 10,000 times more potent than morphine. And get the second part, 100 times more potent than medicine fentanyl. And we've seen it here in Pinellas County. We're not sure where the lethal dose will be, but it's considerably probably going to be less. And we've never seen anything so potent, unpredictable, so lethal in the history of this country. And we're not the only country that's got this problem, has this problem. So there's that penny again from DEA. It's been cropped on purpose. That little speck you're seeing at the bottom of the page there, of that image, that's a picogram. So picogram is probably going to be closer to what is going to be your lethal dose that's going to kill somebody. So before, the medicine was 2 milligrams covering the 4 or 4-digit date. Now we're not even covering one number. And this again is mixed in everything that's out there. The sheer millions of pills over time has escalated. In 2021, they had 10 million pills that we've seized throughout the country. Now I have the numbers for 2022. And if 2021 was 10 million, what do you think for the year 2022? How many millions of pills do you think we seized in that year? Just give me a number. Previously it was 10. More. Another number?
20,
More. More.
40,
More.
100.
No, we've actually, we're almost at 60 million for year 2022. We actually broke the record again for year 2023 and exceeded that number to where we were at. Look at that number there, almost 80 million. And authorities, law enforcement across the board throughout the United States is getting a very small percentage of the drugs that is coming into this country. Probably less than 2 or 3%. The other 97% is getting through and ending up in our county and everywhere else. DEA says for every 10 pills out there in any community, there's a problem. These pills never came from a pharmacist, never came from a pharmacy. Those 10 pills were bootlegged and made by bad actors, drug dealers. Previously, they said for every tenant in any community, 4 out of 10 contained a lethal dose of fentanyl. I don't know if they changed it a year ago. Now it's 6 out of 10 contains a lethal dose of fentanyl. They actually changed it again in December. It's now 7 out of 10. I have a friend at DEA said unofficially, Dan, it's more like 9 or 10 out of 10. These are pills that never came from a pharmacy that contain lethal doses of fentanyl, a whole host of other nasties out there. So the good news is that there is a opioid reversal medication. It's called naloxone, and I became a naloxone instructor. I actually brought it to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, wrote our gel order. And it's one of the few medications that's available that will reverse the drug poisoning if it is an opioid poisoning in itself. So the product that, back to naloxone, is that the county got a grant to teach the public, professionals, citizens, at no cost. And these trainings are scheduled, very flexible schedule. And we started this over a year ago. The goal was to hit 500 trained people in 4 years. That's about 125 people a year. In 8 months, I hit 500 people as far as training 500 folks. And on a year, 1,000. I'm almost at 1,200 as of last week. So we're hopeful the grant has another 18 months. Hoping we'll hit close to 3,000 trained individuals. All your first responders, the sheriff's office, deputies, they carry naloxone as a first aid kit to reversing or at least give somebody a fighting chance. But what is naloxone? Naloxone is a medication. It's a beginning. It's to save their life. It's to get them to the hospital. It's to get them into treatment. It's to get them into recovery. And if you've experienced this in your family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These products here, I have them up here on the table. Very small little device. There's all kinds of products, but we use a nasal application. It's basically a shh up the nose. That's it. This little tiny device has a very small amount of fluid. As such, that's it. Now this device is garbage, and I can actually taste the actual medication. There's no downside to it, no disadvantage. But to someone that is experiencing an opioid poisoning, their life balances on whether they die or not. This will reverse that in most cases. And we have saved thousands of individuals here in Pinellas County, not just with first responders, law enforcement, but with paramedics. So again, this training is available for free. It's about 1.5 hours to 2 hours long. It goes further into detail. It's available to any groups. We've actually scheduled it at open forums for the city of Tarpon, city of Gulfport, at their libraries to make it available. And we've had great success and huge turnouts. And this is something we can work out for not just your city, but for church coalitions, for any group of professionals. We have actually taught fire departments and nurses. And I have a training next week with doctors that are residents for the HCA Largo medical center, and they have a higher skill set. But they want this information because they want to know what we're training the public. So when someone calls 911, to know what to expect. These kits are available for free. You could go to a pharmacy and they may sell it for under $50, but why buy it if you can go to any Department of Health and get it for free? All the fire departments carry it now, and there's a lot of other prevention groups out there that offer these kits available at no cost. And I just want to end it with this last quick video here to share the importance of why we do what we do.
You know, there's always been one main problem with the films that we make. And it's the reason why we try to keep them as real and as relatable as possible. People just so commonly think that it will not happen to them. I'm talking about great people, nice people, cool people, intelligent people with big plans for the future, big potential. Gone. Because of one choice they didn't know was in their life. Fentanyl is coming for anyone and everyone. So the most important message that I can give to kids, to teens, young adults, anybody, is the same old message we've heard time and time again. And that's to really get serious about not even trying as well. You see, back when we first started, I was telling kids not to use drugs because you might get hooked, you might get addicted. Now, it's not even time. Now it's don't try drugs because you might actually not wake up tomorrow. You might actually not get another chance. One choice is all it takes. If you don't believe that, I guarantee you, at this point, there was someone very similar to you who wished they could be here right now to look into the camera and look into your eyes and say, don't do it. Please don't do it. Please, I wish I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. Don't risk your life. So my question for you is, are you going to listen? Or will it be your family, your friends, holding your picture, wishing they could have been there to tell you?
This is my son, Alexander. He died at 14 years old from smoke poisoning.
I know, Andy.
She was 29 years old when she was killed.
This is my daughter, Alex. She was murdered at 20 years old by a drug dealer who sold her a counterfeit pill made of fentanyl. This is my son, Daniel Joseph Porta Johnson, killed at the age of 16 by illicit fentanyl.
This is a great video. It's on YouTube, Dead on Arrival, made by two young producers just to educate people on the dangers of what's out there. It's available. You can take it off YouTube. You can use any part of it, and it's a great educational awareness. You don't always have to be a drug seeker. This is a young one-year-old boy that died. 4 young kids, young babies, went to the hospital in New York from a daycare center. And the folks that were in a daycare center were drug dealers. They had fentanyl. This one beautiful boy died as a result of fentanyl poisoning not too long ago. And there's countless and countless deaths out there, so not all drug seekers. So again, I apologize for going quick. I apologize for setting your day off and kind of this kind of feeling, but it's important for you to know that this is a realistic thing that occurs too often. And now you have more information than people you work with, and more importantly, your family members, and how you choose to share this information with others. Do you have a moment for questions or? Yes, sir.
If 100,000 people died from fentanyl, how many of them knew they were taking fentanyl, or was it just put into something that they didn't even understand what they were doing?
That's a great question. A lot of folks, it's not assuming, they either were using things, just call it what it is, drugs, and they use the drug of choice maybe they were accustomed to using, and now it contained a lethal dose of fentanyl, or it was a one-time use. Or in case if somebody goes to jail and they're incarcerated, their tolerance, their dependency gets lower. So then they get out of jail and they go back to using, and their body can't handle the potency of this. Plus they'll hit a lethal dose of something out there. And there's more than just the fentanyl. If I had more time, we could share a lot more information, but the actual, the training for the naloxone training, which is longer, has more information and actually shares Amy's story, who I met, who lost her beautiful 14-year-old son to a pill, a counterfeit pill. And get this, he obtained it off somebody off Snapchat. Social media is where a lot of young people are getting their drugs nowadays. They're not going to medicine cabinets anymore. They're contacting somebody off social media that in most cases they've never met, and anybody can do it, but it has some inherent dangers involved in that. And that's not the only problem, there's more. Any other questions? Yes.
This is so key, but why is fentanyl being added? Is there any efficacy? Does it enhance? I mean, what's the motivation for someone who's making the drug to add fentanyl?
Another great question. You all ask some wonderful questions. So why was fentanyl being added? What's the motivation? What's the purpose behind it? Well, fentanyl is so incredibly potent. It's all about money. Any type of drug, if you put too much stuff in it, we call adulterating it. When they step on stuff, when they add junk to it, because anyone from the kilo of the brick that receives, that's how things in the drug world exist. 2.2 pounds, 1,000 grams, a milligrams, 1,000 million milligrams, all the way down to the fraction of the gram, quarter gram that's sold on the street. Everyone in that chain of custody of drugs touches the drugs and adds junk to it to add more volume so they make money off it. When you step on cocaine, when it's purity and you decrease it, the drug users don't want it because it doesn't give them the high they want. But in the case of fentanyl, it's so incredibly potent that they throw it in all kinds of stuff. So the user gets something out of it. But in case, these are not pharmacists. They're not compounding pharmacies. They're not manufacturers. They get the recipe wrong. Someone's going to die as a result. Or a lot of people are going to die, what we call as clusters. Take one more question, then we'll close. Anyone else? You have a question about anything that comes to mind that you would like to ask? Yes, ma'am. That's always been a consideration for those folks that do drugs, that they have Narcan with them and they know it's the fail safe that they could use to bring somebody back. There's not always guarantee it's going to work. We seem to think, or at least we feel, that we're going to continue to give it to people and try to save them. And some folks, even the sheriff's office can say this, that they've encountered individuals over and over and over again, and they've been saved countless times, but that's our job, and treatment and recovery is not a straight line up. It goes in all different directions and everyone's different in the room, and what works for one person is probably not going to work for another. And, family members struggle throughout their lives with the hope and prayers and the love and compassion to try to get their loved ones help. And they get to a place where they're going to get better, but it's not always a guarantee. So we're going to continue to be vigilant, and we're going to continue to do what we can to help save lives and be there to try to get the person to the next step. So I really want to thank you for your time today. Again, it was just a brief overview of the problem itself, and I will be here afterwards. You'd like to come up, talk to me a little bit more about it, or if there's something maybe you want to try to host an naloxone training. It's no cost, and I think it's something that could benefit your communities, wherever you are at, whatever you do. And we give out the kits are given to all the attendees. And it's just a program that we can further promote here in the city of Dunedin. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.